If you're after that classic Baja or pre-runner style for your Ram, then this Classic Pro roll bar will be just the right fit for your truck. Featuring a clean design and plenty of flexibility, the Classic Pro lives up to its name and it's going to make your Ram just that much cooler. Quick note on fitment here before we dive in. This is designed to fit all 1994 and newer Ram 1500s, but it is not compatible with trucks that are equipped with the Ram Box feature. I remember watching the Baja 1000 race growing up, and every time I see one of these roll bars like this, I immediately get taken right back. Now, as the name suggests here, this is an absolutely classic style that's going to make your Ram look like a stadium truck or something you'd see ripping off jumps out in the desert. But it does more than just look good. Unlike a lot of other roll bars or chase racks, this one is actually compatible with tonneau covers, so you don't have to sacrifice bed protection in order to have that cool look. At the top, you're also going to find mounts for additional lighting. Whether you want a large light bar or a set of classic round driving lights, you've got the provisions for it up top. There's also a third brake light built in here as well, so even though this is going to cover up most of your factory third brake light when it's installed, you're still going to have the additional safety of having this be visible to other drivers. Now, there are also heavy-duty tie-down points integrated as well, so if you need to mount additional tools or accessories, you've got the flexibility to do so. Now, the majority of the bar here is made up of 3-inch round steel tubing, and you've got sheet steel making up the rest of the pieces. Everything is finished off in this texture black powder coat for additional protection and style, and it's made much like an OEM type of accessory. The third brake light is powered by LEDs, and it comes with most of the wiring already included, and the whole thing is just going to bolt right together, so it makes for a pretty easy installation, but we'll talk more about that momentarily. Pricing comes in at about $1,500, and that does put this more toward the top of the category. Though it is going to be a bit more affordable than some other roll bars or chase racks out there, and the inclusion of the third brake light and the tonneau cover compatibility here are worth the extra dollars in my book. Installation is going to get a 2 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should take you around 2 hours to complete. Now, as you can probably tell, there is a bit of assembly that you'll have to do here. You also have to get that third brake light wired in. There's also a little bit of drilling you'll need to do, and we'll talk you through that right now as we head on out to the shop and walk you through the process step by step.
For this install, you will need an impact, various ratchets, 10 and 13 millimeter sockets, a Phillips head screwdriver, 4, 5, and 6 millimeter Allen sockets, needle nose pliers, wire strippers, and crimpers. Also not shown here is male spade connectors and T-taps. What's up, folks? Today we're going to be doing a roll bar on our Ram, so let's get started. Alrighty guys, so we're going to need to start off on the table because we do have some assembly to do before it's ready to go onto the truck. So we're going to start off with our crossbars and our front beauty plate up on the table, and we're going to get those together. Now we're going to grab our front bar, that's the one with your new third brake light. That's going to go into the fascia of your beauty plate. Best way to do that is to lay it in on top. You want the mounting brackets to line up with these 2 holes. Then what we're going to do is grab our wiring for our new brake light. Get the twist tie off of that if you can ever figure them out. We're going to take that wiring and we're going to pass it through our rear bar because this is going to need to come through to our factory third brake light location. So if you twist it up, you will find a grommet right here. Pass that through. You want to run it over to the right side. So on the bottom of this, there is an opening over here. You're going to need to get this too. Now these bars are open, so just run it all the way to the end. You can reach your hand in there. Sometimes you get lucky and they actually come out like so. I'm going to pull that pretty much all the way through. Make sure this doesn't get too tangled. And once you have that pretty much all the way through, I'm going to set this bar, the brackets lining up with those for our front bar, like so. I'm going to hold that in place. I'm going to grab our provided button head Allen bolts with a flat washer, and we're going to send that through our mounting brackets. Now you may have to adjust this a little bit to get those through the front. And once you have that through the front side, we're going to grab another one of our flat washers, a lock washer, and our provided nut to go on the back side. Now this is a tight space. You just have some patience with it. We'll show you what this looks like in just a second. Might make things a little bit easier to get both of these in. Once we have both of these in, hold your bolts in place. Flip that over, that way you can work down. It's going to be a little bit easier. Now, as you can see, we have access to our bolts, but this is still kind of a tight squeeze. So if you have a stick magnet, I highly recommend you use it for this. We can place our nuts onto our bolts, get those started. Once that's started, you can run that down a good bit by hand. And then we'll do the same thing for the other side. Now we're not going to fully tighten these just yet because we want to allow for some adjustability. Now we can begin our side assemblies. So we've got our uprights that are going to go into our middle bars. Now you want the one with the double bend to go on the same tube as your third brake light. So it's going to face out front, like so. We're going to line the threaded hole up with these slots. We're going to grab our provided combo bolts. We'll get one loosely in place with each of our bars. Again, you don't want to tighten these yet because we do want to be able to adjust it once we get on the truck. Get that one in. Now another thing to note is you want your threaded inserts on your uprights to face towards each other so that we can put our side plates in. Get this in place. Then we'll do the same thing for the other side. Now we can put our side plates in on our uprights. So we're gonna face these with the longer end of our triangular shape on the longer upright bar. Get those in place. And we're gonna grab our provided bolts with lock washers and flat washers. Get these loosely into our threaded inserts. This is going to take a little bit of adjusting. So you've got two on this one and then two on the other bar as well. Once we have this side on, we'll do the same thing for the other side. Next, we can install our base plates onto our bed rails. So you want the 3-hole mounting plate to face towards the bulkhead of your bed, like so. You want to get that as far forward as possible. And we also want to do that on the other side. Now, one thing to note is for mounting these to your bed, doing this at home, you will need to drill holes in all 3 of the mounting hole positions. So you want to place this on here, mark those holes, and drill them out accordingly. Now, for demonstration purposes, we're not going to be drilling into our bed, but definitely doing this at home, that's the only way this is going to be secure to your bed on the base plate side. So grab your drill, a Sharpie, and a center punch, and go ahead and start drilling. Now once you have your base plates drilled and the hardware inserted for those, we're going to grab our roll bar and set that onto our base plates. Now doing this at home, if you needed a second set of hands, it is recommended, but it's not too heavy. This is where you want to make any adjustments, how this sits on the base plate. So if you need to bring one side in, you should do that now. Now that we have our roll bar set in place, we're going to install our provided tapered head Allen bolts. And they're going to go directly through the middle into the welded nut on the bottom of our upright bars. You just want to get these started for now so you can get all 4 in position. You're going to have to kind of go by feel on this, so it is kind of difficult. And once you have these 2 in, you can do the same thing for the other side. Now we can begin by tightening down those Allen head bolts with a 6mm Allen socket on a ratchet. And once we have this side tight, we can do the same thing for the other side. Now we can put our end caps on. There's a threaded hole that goes into this slotted mounting portion, and we're gonna grab one of our 4mm Allen head bolts, lock washers and flat washers, and get that in position. Now this can be a little bit tricky, to be quite honest. It's very hard to see. It may even be better to put this on your Allen wrench. We'll get the other one started, and then we'll come back and tighten them down. Now we'll tighten these down with a 4mm Allen wrench. Kind of have to start with a traditional wrench. Move that to the side until we get a little bit tighter. Now once you get both of these tight, you can do the same thing for the other side. Now we can begin tightening everything down. So we're going to start with our side plate mounting bolts. So we've got our 10 mil socket on our ratchet. We'll tighten these down. And we'll do the same thing for the other side. Next, we'll tighten down our combo bolts for our upright bars. So we've got our 13 mil socket. We'll do the same thing for the other side. So now we can tighten down our top bracket bolts. So we've got a 5mm Allen socket for the top and our 13mm socket for the bottom. And we'll do the same thing for the other side. Now we can install our two 4mm Allen head bolts for our front mounting holes. Then we'll grab our 4mm Allen socket, tighten those down. So now we'll begin our wiring for our new third brake light. So we're going to tap into the factory one, so we'll need to remove that. So we've got a Phillips head screwdriver. We're going to remove the 4 Phillips head screws holding this in. And you want to be very careful not to drop these in between your cab and your bed. We have those out. Pop our third brake light out. And the center bulb is going to be the one we're going for. Now to connect to these, this is not included with your kit, but you will need some T-taps as well as male spade connectors. It's the easiest way to tap into your harness and keep it modular in case you need to unplug it and remove it. So what we're going to do is put a T-tap on each wire coming straight out of the bulb connector. Fold that over. Now I like to use some needle nose pliers just to give that a little squeeze. It gives it a better connection. Again, we're not forcing it down on it, we're just giving it a gentle squeeze. Tap one into each wire. Make sure it sits in that saddle. And once that locks down, we take our wiring. Now you can cut the excess off for this. You just want to give it a little bit of slack. Be able to go back in there and you can tuck the rest in. So we'll give it a little bit of extra. Take our needle nose pliers or angle cutters, cut off the excess. You want to separate those two wires a little bit so you have some room to work with. And you want to take your wire strippers and expose a good bit of wire. Once you have that done, take our male spade connector, put that in place, crimp that down. Once you have that crimped, I like to give it a little tug just to make sure that's a good connection. We'll do the same thing for our other wire. I'll bring that over. Now we're going to plug these into our T-taps. Now the black wire is going to go to our black wire on our harness. It just plugs right into the back of that T-tap. And our red wire is going to go to our other one. Sure that's secure. We're going to tuck this right back into its home. Now again, this is just the easiest option for wiring. If you wish to kind of route it down in a more flush way, you can. We'll set this back in place. And we'll reinstall our Phillips head screws. Now you want to get all 4 loosely in place before you tighten them down to just make sure this lines back up. Alrighty folks, that about wraps up our review and install of our Classic Pro roll bar in black finish for your 9-4 to current Ram 1500 without Ram box. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything Ram, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.